From the Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.
On News Hour tonight, cost of living bites harder in Benue as residents in Kano find alternatives to sugar. Bandits strike in Jigawa, abducting wives of council chairman and killing one person in Zaka. Several suspects linked to major crimes in police custody. And on the foreign scene, tens of thousands march in US for Gaza ceasefire. Hello and welcome to News Hour on Trust TV. I'm Sagir Ibrahim. We begin with news on the cost of living. As a fallout of the removal of fuel subsidy and inflation in the country, there is an uneasy calm among residents of Makurdi who visited the market. In spite of adjustments to living standards, many households are lamenting that they can no longer meet the minimum needs of life. Jimmy Adzandi, Trust TV correspondent in Benue State, reports.
Prices of commodities, especially foodstuff, are on the steady rise. According to respondents, these prices increase almost on a daily basis.
If things are this high now, what would be the fate of Nigerians when it's December period? Oh, God, I cry. No, the price of dollar has increased. The removal of fuel subsidy has really affected everything, and the life is very miserable for the average Nigerian. Some of them go as far as not eating for a whole day. Some of them just eat in the morning and they don't eat again for the rest of the day.
The residents also say the government has no idea of the true situation masses of Nigeria are going through at the moment.
Next month, we know that it will get worse than this, and it's really tiring. A carton of Maggi used to be less than 13,000 naira. As of yesterday, we're getting the 50 pieces a pack for 14,500, which was not like this. And by next month, we know that this price will still go up because it's usually like this during the festive period, and it's draining. We don't know how to do it. If the government can only make it easy for us, we are trying.
In spite of the inflation and subsidy removal crisis, Makurdi residents are alleging that middlemen are taking advantages of inflation and subsidy removal to raise prices.
Transportation, before I go modern market, from here to modern market, 300 naira, but now they go there 500. So if I come back and with my expenses, I think it will go up small. I think because I'm done. That's subsidy way they remove, way they no plan now.
The authorities should, in a way, try to make sure that prices of things in the market, in a way, I don't really know how to do it. They don't have to do it directly. They have to go directly, maybe stabilizing some things. Yeah, then make those things accessible to students, accessible to the average Nigerians, those that don't have money to buy. You get, that's the only way we can make Nigeria a better place.
In Benue State, though reputed as a food basket of the nation, the recent price hike has left the masses in a state of uncertainty. Jimmy Adzandi, Trust TV News, Makurdi.
As the price of sugar skyrockets across many parts of the country, residents in Kano have resorted to using saccharin and others as alternatives. Trust TV correspondent Idris Jibrin reports that the price of sugar has now hit 62,000 naira per bag of 50 kilograms. Here's this report.
Hajia Halima Ibrahim is a popular soft drink trader in Kano. She says she either used saccharin to prepare her drinks or be forced to quit selling soft drink due to the high cost of sugar.
To gaskiya a yanzu muna samun kalubale game da sigan nan. Saboda kaga ni yanzu ma ta kai ta kawo idan Allah ya sa wannan sigan da nake amfani da shi kare, to abin da nake using da shi nake kasuwanci da shi wanda ya shafi siga na hakura zan bar shi.
However, nutritionists warn that consumption of sugar is highly dangerous to the human body unless one is diabetic.
What is there inside saccharin is nothing more than benzoyl bromide. and that benzoyl bromide is very, very dangerous and is very, very poisonous at times to the body, because it is only giving the mouth taste. That sweet taste is only what is there inside, but when it comes into the body, the way how the body is trying to metabolize, catabolize, anabolize, and amphibolize, so it is very difficult.
Other food additives used as alternative to sugar in Kano include sweetener and aspartame. Again, nutritionists say these additives can be dangerous.
All of this, we call it food additives. Food additives in terms of flavoring agent, coloring agent, preservative agent, or sweetening agent. Aspartame and sweetener, they are all what we call sweetening agent. They are substances that use to modify it as just like a sugar. You can even feel the taste of sugar, but there is no something like glucose or fructose inside that substance.
Meanwhile, expert believes that refined sugar is not the only source of glucose for the human body, as there are other kinds of food one may consume to get the necessary glucose for the energy his body requires.
All form of cereal like rice, like wheat, like corn, guinea corn, maize, sorghum, and others, it's all sugar. Because what we call sugar is carbohydrate. What we call carbohydrate is glucose. What we call glucose in our body is served as a fuel to our brain.
Be that as it may, the price of sugar has continued to rise in Kano State as residents now intensify the use of these alternatives capable of causing life-threatening ailments. Idris Jibrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
And there you have it. Moving on, the Plateau State chapter of the Jama'atul Nasrul Islam, JNI, has berated the state governor, Caleb Mutfwang's administration for refusing to include the names of Muslims as beneficiaries of the 500 million naira donated by wife of the president, Oluremi Tinubu, to victims of crisis in the state. The wife of the president had, on the 12th of September, gave 500 million naira to the state government to be disbursed to the victims of the crisis recently experienced in 6 local government areas of Mangu, Barkinladi, Riyom, Bokos, Jos South, and Bassa, adding that despite their call for the review of the list, the government went ahead with the disbursement of the money without the Muslims. Trust TV Ado Musa reports.
In a press briefing held at the Jos Central Mosque on Saturday, Secretary of the group, Dr. Salim Musa, said, despite calling for the review of the list, the government went ahead with the disbursement without including their members who were affected by the crisis. The JNI noted that it had earlier written a letter to Governor Caleb Mutfwang on September 13, complaining about the lopsided compilation of the list of 500 families being victims of the crisis in the affected local government areas, but nothing has been done.
To our dismay, there was no word from the state government apart from an unfortunate rebuttal of our clear and obvious complaint issued by the State Commissioner for Information. While waiting for redress and addressing the imbalance and ensuring that justice is done to Muslims victims of the crisis, we found out in all the local government areas to which the donation was intended for, the state government closed its ears to our genuine concern and it started distribution of the assistance to victims in Mangu local government area with no input from any Muslim, no JNI.
The group also said it is its responsibility to speak on behalf of the Muslim Ummah in the state and therefore will not hesitate to withdraw engagement with the government.
We are citizens deserving all rights and privileges as provided in the Constitution. All discriminatory policies by Plateau State government should be stopped immediately. Otherwise, Jama'atul Nasrul Islam in Plateau State will be forced to review all its engagements with Plateau State government henceforth. No society strives and prospers on injustice and treatment of citizens as second-class citizens. We ask for quick amends and we will not hesitate to draw the attention of the state government if this continues.
Contacted the State Commissioner of Information and Communication, Musa Ashams, on the development, said the JNI is a partner in progress with the government and will continue to engage them to ensure the development of the state without any discrimination. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
And in security, police in Katsina State are making breakthrough, recording arrest of suspects in 75 major criminal cases ranging from kidnapping, cattle rustling, armed robbery, culpable homicide and rape in 1 month. The police command briefed journalists on the achievements of the command from 1st to 31st October 2023. Trust TV's Abdullahi Yamadi in Katsina State has more on the details.
Out of the total number of suspects arrested in major criminal cases recorded within the period under review, 72 of them have been charged to courts for prosecution, while 134 suspects are still being investigated. A breakdown of the cases indicated that 13 armed robbery and 8 murder suspects were arrested, in addition to 39 rapists and 6 suspects arrested in possession of illicit drugs. Similarly, police operatives in the state succeeded in arresting 50 suspects for offenses ranging from criminal force, intimidations, inciting disturbance, and belonging to the gang of brigands, among many others. In its relentless efforts to defeat bandits and their collaborators, the command rescued 23 kidnapped victims and recovered 1 English pistol, 6 rounds of live ammunition, and 1 suspected stolen motorcycle. Also in the custody of the command are some suspected killers of a police officer, armed robbers, kidnappers, and cattle rustlers.
The suspect further confessed to having shot and killed 1 Inspector Balamagaji, may his soul continue to rest in peace, who until his death was attached to Central Police Station Funtua while responding to a distress call with respect to the gang's activity.
There are also 2 notorious members of kidnapping for ransom and cattle rustling syndicates terrorizing people in Faskari, Funtua, and Bakore local governments, operating under the command of one Oga Abba, a notorious bandit who is on the police wanted list.
The suspect further confessed to having participated in several kidnappings for ransoms operation, where the sum of 25 million naira was received as ransom on 2 different occasions.
Public commentators are worried over the increasing number of criminal cases being recorded in Katsina, calling on parents, community, security, and government, as well as other stakeholders, to rise against it before it gets out of hand. Abdullahi Yamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
Thanks to Abdullahi for that update. However, still in Katsina, residents of Zakka town in Safana local government of the state have come under heavy bandit attack, killing 1 person while several others sustained varying degrees of gunshot wounds. According to reports, the bandits surrounded some farms at the outskirts of the town and abducted several people working on the farms. Those who sustained injuries have been rushed to the hospital for medical attention. Still in security, bandits on Sunday reportedly ambushed a convoy of villagers with military escorts on their way from Alawa Shiroro local government area to Pando Gari Market in Rafi local government area of the state. Daily Trust gathered that the attack was launched around 10 a.m. at Maganda Junction, Pando Gari Alawa Road, when soldiers were escorting villagers to Pando Gari Market to buy commodities. Details of the incident were still sketchy as at the time of filing this report. However, residents who spoke with Daily Trust said so far, only the dead body of one of the villagers identified as Dantala was found by the roadside, while some motorcycles were also burnt. The landmines reportedly buried on the road exploded when the armored personnel carrier with which the military personnel were escorting the villagers loaded in 5 Mitsubishi Cantas marched on it. The chairman, Shiroro Local Government Area, Kilu Isiaku Kuta, confirmed the incident, saying that the incident happened around 10 a.m. on Sunday, but also said that he was yet to establish the number of casualties. Residents lamented that the deplorable state of Alawa Pando Gari Road had always made intervention by security operatives difficult, even when attacks were ongoing. Also, the police in Jigawa State on Saturday confirmed the abduction of 2 wives of Kiawa local government area chairman Nasiru Ahmed at his residence in Kiawa town. Residents said the gunmen stormed the town around 8 p.m., shooting indiscriminately while scaring away people, and went straight to their targeted residence. The police spokesperson in Jigawa, Lawan Adam, said the security operatives are on top of the situation following a report from the residents. Away from that, flight activities have resumed at the Samuel Ladoke Akintola Airport in Ibadan, Oyo State on Sunday, after the facility was closed briefly by the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria. The airport was closed by the federal government as it carried out investigations into the private jet accident that occurred at the facility on Friday night. The aircraft, which crash-landed close to the runway, disrupted flight activities at the airport as accident investigators were deployed to the scene. Also, the Taraba state government says no fewer than 20 corpses of victims of a recent boat mishap have been recovered. This was disclosed by the state's commissioner for special duties and social development, Saviour Noku, shortly after visiting the Binneri community alongside the state deputy governor, where the boat capsized last Saturday. The state deputy governor, Aminu Alkali, in an interview after an on-the-spot assessment and condolences to the affected community and families, banned night journeys on waterways. Upon arrival, the deputy governor was told that barricades on the waterways by fishermen in attempts to trap fish were the major cause of the mishap. He instructed that all barricades on the waterways be cleared within 7 days. According to him, the state government will henceforth not tolerate the overloading of boats or canoes or movement without passenger manifest and life jackets. He is insisting that the government will investigate deeply to unravel the root cause of the boat mishap and punish culprits accordingly. You're watching News Hour on Trust TV. Coming up shortly, we'll tell you the cost of living and how it bites harder, as well as Kano Kolanut market and the issues therein. Do stay with us.
This is Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
As a demonstration of its commitment to provide sustained access to basic healthcare for all Nigerians, the federal government of Nigeria, through the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, NPHCDA, has established the Basic Healthcare Provision Fund, BHCPF. The Basic Healthcare Provision Fund is designed to deploy operations fund directly to primary healthcare facilities in every political ward nationwide to ensure the availability of quality PHC services to all Nigerians, irrespective of where they live or work. The Basic Healthcare Provision Fund guarantees 24 hours availability of midwives, other health workers, and health supplies in at least one PHC in every political ward. Ask from your local government health department for the BHCPF PHC in your ward to get more information and benefit from the services. Think access to healthcare for all. Think universal health coverage. Think Basic Healthcare Provision Fund. This message is from the Federal Ministry of Health and National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, NPHCDA. For further inquiries, call the NPHCDA toll-free number 7722 or visit www.nphcda.gov.ng.
It was never a consensus. We did all our best. You see, in politics, you give your contribution to the best of your ability.
If you want, I'll forward to you this statement. You go to this bank and verify.
But there are people who say not spending money is not a virtue in itself.
Let me finish.
But there's so much to be done.
Let me finish. Now, you don't allow me to explain myself.
The recent development shows abductions are now a factor of informants embedded in community.
It's not about the people of Katsina to say that, no, during my administration I was able to stop insecurity. No. It's about collective responsibility for all of us.
And what we should ask ourselves is not what has been seen, is the life better? Are there more people who are unemployed who have not become employed? Is the level of corruption has gone down? Is there inclusion? All those issues.
We're actually a gas country with associated oil. Our focus has always been on oil, that we have never paid significant attention to gas.
To do it effectively, we need to have honest conversation with ourselves. Government needs to come down from its high horse and communicate with the people and build trust.
There must be a solution. We cannot continue this way. They must come back to the table and agree. So whose child will do deny education? All these children that sit for jam, they want to go to higher institutions.
But just a short while ago you were saying that why bring 10 children when you cannot cater for them? So why bring more universities when you cannot cater for the existing?
Thanks for staying with us. If you're just joining, this is the News Hour on Trust TV. Now, a recap of some of our major stories. Cost of living bites harder in Benue as residents in Kano find alternatives to sugar. Bandits strike in Jigawa, abducting wives of council chairman and killing one person in Zaka. Moving on to more stories, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu said the present administration will continue to invest in training and research development with technological advancement to widen the scope of academic performance throughout the country. He stated this after commissioning the Tertiary Education Trust Fund project worth 472 million naira at the Faculty of Sciences and Management Technology of the Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University, Bauchi. Trust TV's Adamu Imam was there and completes the story.
President Tinubu, who was represented by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Maitama Tuga, told journalists that technology in tertiary institutions is topmost priority of the present government to improve the education sector.
Some are to leapfrog using technology, using education. I'm sure you must have heard of the Renewed Hope Agenda. You must have heard about the more than 3,000 technical training centers that are being revamped to train 3 million Nigerians, 3 million youths in the space of technology. Yesterday, only yesterday, I hosted the signing of collaboration of an agreement between France and Nigeria that was initiated by the visiting Minister of Foreign Affairs of France and the Minister for Science, Communications and Digital Technology. It was signed in my ministry yesterday. So France is providing funding for that.
He also charged the management of the institution to ensure the maintenance and sustainability of the infrastructure. The Vice Chancellor of the University, Mohammed Ahmed Abdulaziz, said he is committed to projects that will take the institution to the next level.
The mark of success is quality, and we shall remain at the top of this venture until the dream of our dear country is realized in the field of technology. We shall continue to join hands with our stakeholders in order to achieve our target goals as science and technology-based university. And that's why the university is looking forward to establishing faculty of computing. Because we all agree with us that the way that the whole world is moving is towards artificial intelligence. And there's no way we can run away from artificial intelligence. And there's no way we can run away from embedded learning. And there's no way we can run from using virtual aids for teaching our students.
President Tinubu noted that other federal institutions of learning in the country will not be left out as TEDFund continue to address infrastructural deficit for the overall advancement of the sector. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
Those were sites from the commissioning of TEDFund projects at the Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University, Bauchi State. Moving on, it was a moment of joy in Otunwa community in southern Ijaw local government area of Bayelsa State as philanthropist, businessman, Rear Admiral Thomas Jonah Lokerson, retired, awarded scholarships to 11 sons and daughters of the community. Trust TV's correspondent, Friday, Ebimoboe Peter, has more.
Some of the beneficiaries from Niger Delta University expressed their joy at the opportunity given to them and promised not to disappoint their sponsor.
First of all, I want to thank God for this opportunity to be one of the beneficiaries of this scheme. And again, I feel very happy, and I say a big thanks to God, the chiefs, and above all, the person in charge, our leader, our father, Honorable Lokosin. God should uplift him the more. All that he has done.
I feel very happy and very excited about the scholarship, and I'm grateful for what you have done for me and my colleagues.
Sponsor of the scholarship, Rear Admiral Thomas Jonah Lokosin, retired, said he was also a beneficiary of scholarship during his own time. A chieftains of the community urged the beneficiaries to.
Moving on, the rate of eye-related diseases in some northern states in Nigeria is rapidly growing as thousands remain at risk of losing their sight. The recent spread of infective conjunctivitis has signaled the gaps in eye healthcare services, especially for rural communities. In this report, Trust TV's Adamu Imam speaks to specialists in Jigawa on the development. Take a look.
According to available data, there are at least 1.3 blind Nigerians, and about 80% of blindness in Nigeria is from avoidable causes. Visual impairments have physically, emotional, social, and economic ramifications, and they play an essential role in determining one's quality of life. A specialist speaks on the prevalence of eye diseases in northern Nigeria.
Because many people, they don't know that they have eye problem. The advice that we give any time when you have any problem, refer it to the hospital. When you go to the hospital, find yourself in the ophthalmology department where they will find a simple visual acuity. They are checking visual acuity. You measure someone's visions, it will help us to even reduce the burden of blindness. Then cataract surgery. We embark on major eye outreach where we are going to the community level. We start operating people there. This one will also reduce the number of blindness.
With the dry season setting in, eye infections have been spreading across communities like wildfire.
So definitely during the harvesting period, some people don't have money. That's why they don't use money during the rainy season. But immediately when the harvesting period started, you see the people are trooping. They keep on giving their own problem till when they get the money. So now it's harvesting period. That's why you see the place is always congested.
Some patients speak in their experience while undergoing treatment.
Sometimes I feel something is itching me. Sometimes it's getting red, and so on. And what I'm using at home, I use warm water with salt and wash my.
If I want to watch television, it is always difficult for me because I don't see clearly. I have been on treatment and managing it as well for over 2 months. Then afterward, I resumed consulting the eye care specialist here in the hospital. There was a time they gave me eye drops, but it still persisted. That's why I'm still struggling to regain my sight clear.
While a significant part of visual impairments or eye diseases can be linked to age, a lot more people are dealing with prevalence ailments that, if left unchecked due to inadequate healthcare services, could lead to permanent blindness. Adamu Imam, Trust TV News, Jigawa.
Still on health, as part of moves to curb the outbreak of cholera in some parts of Ogun State, which has killed at least 12 people, the Ogun State government, through the Ministry of Environment, is set to commence the verification process for the producers of table water and beverages in the state. The Commissioner for Environment, Ola Oresanya, according to a statement made available to newsmen on Sunday, disclosed this during a stakeholders meeting with the Table Water and Beverages Producers Association of Nigeria held at the ministry's conference hall, Okemoson, Abeokuta. Oresanya said that the meeting was necessary for the agency to know those who are registered water producers and are complying with the process of water production. He said it became necessary to monitor the hygienic process of producing water products and ensure that they meet the required standard for human consumption. Also, the Presidential Compressed Natural Gas Initiative has inaugurated the Kaduna State CNG Conversion Center as part of the federal government's efforts to mitigate the impact of subsidy removal. According to the chairman of the Presidential CNG Initiative Steering Committee, Zach Adedeji, the CNG conversion site is a visionary facility designed to convert conventional petrol vehicles into compressed natural gas-powered vehicles. Adedeji noted that the centers represented Nigeria's commitment to transitioning to cleaner and more affordable energy solutions. Speaking at the inauguration of the conversion center On Saturday, he said the transformation would not only reduce the operating cost for vehicle owners but also contribute to the substantial decrease in carbon emissions. Also, the Lagos State government has cancelled the 50% transport fare discount on all public transport system, which was implemented in response to Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu's directive on August 2nd, 2023. In a public notice on Saturday, the Lagos Metropolitan Area Transport Authority, LAMATA, announced a reversion to the old rates of public transport from November 5th. The 50% rebate in transport fare in the regulated transport system in Lagos ends on Sunday, the Lagos Metropolitan Area Transport Authority said in a statement. The statement informed commuters that starting from Monday, November 6, 2023, transport fare will return to the pre-2nd August 2023 rate. It also advised Lagos residents to take note of the change and make the necessary preparations for the resumption of regular transport fare rates that were in place before the adjustment made in August. Governor Sanwo-Olu announced on July 31st the reduction of transport fares for state-owned buses by 50%, as well as commercial yellow buses by 25% on all routes as part of efforts to cushion the effect of the removal of the petrol subsidy. He disclosed that the bus fare reduction was supposed to take effect on Wednesday, August 2nd, 2023, noting the expansion of the fleet of staff buses for the workers in the Lagos State Public Service to cushion the effect of the subsidy removal. He said that the buses are ready and will be deployed through the office of the head of service of the state. The need for peaceful coexistence among members of different faiths has been re-echoed at the 10th annual Usman Danfodio lecture in Ilorin, the Kwara state capital. Nigerians have been tasked to utilize their religious beliefs as a vehicle for unity and a panacea for harmony in Nigeria and for Nigeria to develop. Here's more on the report.
The guest speaker at this year's annual lecture is partly the reason why this hall is full to capacity. Dr. Zakir Naik is using the platform to encourage respect and tolerance among members of different faiths in Nigeria.
The God which the Hindus worship, they believe is the same God for the Hindus and the non-Hindus. The God which the Christians worship, they believe is the same God for the Christians and the non-Christians. Similarly, the God Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala we Muslims worship, we believe He is the same Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for Muslims as well as for the non-Muslims.
The Sultan of Sokoto, who is the president of the Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, charged Nigerians to explore each other's religions to better understand how to build a common ground for the development of society.
It's important to share knowledge, educate people across the globe as Muslims. It's important for us to know whenever we come together as brothers and sisters in Islam to have knowledge of the other person. Because if you don't know about your own brother or your own friend, how will you relate with him?
Kwara State Governor, represented by the Grand Kadi, in his remarks called on Nigerians to remain steadfast and use prayers as a vehicle to drive prosperity for all.
His Excellency enjoins us all to always uphold the teachings of Islam and be steadfast in our faith and believe in Allah as the only one God, so that in hereafter we shall all be admitted in Jannah as our final abode.
The event featured several talks on building peace and harmony in a homogeneous society like Nigeria.
Also, the Mariri Kolanut International Market in Kano is currently struggling to stay in business as traders close up shops while others struggle to keep the market open. Supply chain issues and the current economic climate are some of the factors responsible for the international market's decline, despite high demands for kola nuts, especially in northern Nigeria. Salim Umar visited the market for this report, and here's what he found out.
Goro, as it is often called in Hausa dialect, plays a significant role in many cultures, though it is very uncommon to witness any house ceremony without loaves of kola nut. This business, however, still exists. The market is now living in a shadow of itself.
Musamman wannan kasuwar tamu duk duniya babu irin ta inda kasuwar goro ce.
This market has been known for this business. People from different African countries come here for kola nut business, and kola nut has been our business in this area.
The Kola Nut International Market relocated to Mariri from Kofar Nasarawa in 1977 for the purpose of expanding it to accommodate more traders. Although the climatic condition of the region is not favorable for the cultivation of kola nut, the nut, Kano in particular, is widely known for its distribution, not just within the country, but to other African countries, including Chad and Niger. The market is famous as the only entry point from where the product gets to end users. In the past, it is said that at least 5 truckloads of the product from Shagamu in Ogun State offload at Mariri International Kola Nut Market on a daily basis, thereby creating an opportunity for the teeming unemployed youth to earn a living. But now, it's hard to see a truck daily.
I've been into this business for the past 40 years, but the market is going down now due to the economic crisis in the country.
It was a beehive of activities as young men and adults struggled to eke out a living. While some are full-time dealers on the product, others earn their living by loading and offloading the product. It was gathered that about 3,000 unemployed youths from Kano and neighboring states, including Jigawa, Katsina, and Kaduna, used to source their daily bread through menial jobs in the market. The story is absolutely different today, as the market looks scanty and less busy.
The high cost of living has also affected our business. Before now, we don't sell on credit, but with the situation of things in the country, most of us sell our goods on credit to make ends meet. There have been a lot of setback in this business.
While the business is dwindling and struggling to survive various challenges, the businessman said the economic situation in the country is greatly contributing to the declining pace, urging authorities concerned to come to their aid. Salim Umar, Trust TV News, Kano.
And following a 2-week intensive training skills program in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, more to provide for the basic needs of their immediate family members. Wife of the Oyo State Governor, Tamuno Minimi Makinde, while speaking at the event, charged well-meaning Nigerians to do more for the Nigerian women in sustained effort at addressing the issue of unemployment and poverty eradication.
So this program basically is for the women. The way I organize my empowerment all the time, we will do for the men, which is coming very soon, sometime beginning of next year. We will do for the men as well. But today is for our mother, our young lady, who they graduated and they do not have employment. So I believe this one, they are out of, I don't have the money to take care of my children, my husband don't have the money. If you get this, one of those benefits, you can be assured that all this equipment that is presently here, you can start using and start making money and take care of your family. That's always been my mission. So we have 55 of people that have gone through the building. We have 50 that we go with the burner, the gas cooker. We have 24 of people that already have experience in sewing machine that can become tailor. And we have grinding machine, which is about 24. And the grinding machine, you don't need any training. All you have to do, go outside your house, put the petrol inside, get a stick, and start making money. And I believe that doing all this, at least, I'm very happy that we, economy, we, PDP, we, PDP, fair conspiracy, we, PDP in Oyo State, we are able to help our people. So thank you very much.
20 items from each of those groups. Let me use this opportunity to advise the beneficiaries of this empowerment program who are seated here, some who are standing today, to make good use of these various skills that you have acquired in the past 2 weeks to better their life and their family and also their community or the community they find themselves. Just start. I want to use this opportunity to call on philanthropists in our society and in our communities to organize similar empowerment programs for the betterment of our women and also our community. I want to say that it's only when you teach one how to fish that you feed the person for life. It is not good for you to keep fishing and be giving the person a piece of fish. But when you teach someone how to fish, you feed the person for life.
This is News Hour on Trust TV. More news after the break. Stay with us.
Are you interested in the latest news and developments in Nigerian politics, policy, governance and other critical national issues? Look no further than Daily Politics on Trust TV. Our panel of experts and key people in government provide in-depth analysis and commentary on the biggest stories in Nigerian politics.
And 33.3 million Nigerians are suffering from multidimensional poverty. It's a much calmer Buhari than the Buhari who was in the khaki uniform.
Naira to Naira X rate is higher anywhere in the world. The Naira is higher than the exchange rate. So you want to...
Since central bank governor you're doing, you must do it fast. The number of casualties we have had, we shouldn't have had. Security as far as Nigeria is concerned, we have wronged.
From the inner workings of government to the latest on legislation, rule of law, implementation and democracy, we have you covered. Don't miss out on the latest political news and discussion. Tune in to Daily Politics, weekdays on Trust TV, your source for reliable and unbiased coverage of Nigerian politics.
It was never a consensus. We did all our best. You see, in politics, you give your contribution to the best of your ability.
If you want, I'll forward to you this statement. You go to this bank and verify.
But there are people who say not spending money is not about you.
I'm coming. Let me finish.
Because there's so much to be done.
Let me finish. Now, you don't allow me to explain myself.
The recent development shows abductions are now a factor of informants embedded in community.
It's not about the people of Katsina to say that, no, during my administration I was able to stop insecurity. No, it's about collective responsibility for all of us.
And what we should ask ourselves is not what has been seen, is the life better? Are there more people who are unemployed who are not become employed? Is the level of corruption has gone down? Is there inclusion? All those issues.
We're actually a gas country with associated oil. Our focus has always been on oil, that we have never paid attention, significant attention to gas.
To do it effectively, we need to have honest conversation with ourselves. Government needs to come down from its higher horse and communicate with the people and build trust.
There must be a solution. We cannot continue this way. They must come back to the table and agree. So whose child will do deny education? All these children that sit for jam, they want to go to higher institutions.
But just a short while ago you were saying that why bring 10 children when you cannot cater for them? So why bring more universities when you cannot cater for the existing?
Welcome back. And to more news now. The Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, has filed a lawsuit against President Bola Tinubu over the failure to probe the grim allegations that over $15 billion oil revenues and 200 billion naira budgeted to repair the refineries in Nigeria are missing and unaccounted for between 2020 and 2021. This was made known in a statement signed by SERAP's Deputy Director Kolawole Oluwadare on Sunday. The allegations are contained in the 2021 report by the Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, NATI. SERAP is seeking an order of mandamus to compel President Tinubu to direct appropriate anti-corruption agencies to probe allegations of corruption involving the Nigerian Petroleum Development Company Limited, the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, and state-owned enterprises. And on the foreign scene, tens of thousands of people have gathered in the capital of the United States to demand a ceasefire in Gaza as Washington continues to resist calls for an end to the war despite the mounting death toll. The demonstrators in Washington, D.C. directed their anger toward President Joe Biden, accusing him of enabling genocide against Palestinians. United Nations experts have warned of a growing risk of genocide in Gaza amid Israel's relentless bombardment of the enclave, which was launched in response to Hamas's October 7th attacks on southern Israeli communities. Protesters have also rallied in Indonesia and Pakistan, calling for an end to Israeli strikes on Gaza. And at least 50 individuals were killed as a result of an Israeli airstrike against the Al-Maghazi refugee camp in the central part of the Gaza Strip. Israel's heavy bombardment of Gaza has intensified, particularly in the north, where many civilians remain trapped and unable to flee. The Israeli Air Force attacked a residential building in the refugee camp where women and children make up the majority of victims. Information was also received about dozens of victims, with many of them still under the rubble. Strikes were also delivered against residential quarters in the north and the west of the Palestinian enclave, apart from the Al-Maghazi camp. Israeli shelling also destroyed the main water source in Jabalia refugee camp. At least 9,488 Palestinians were also killed in Israeli attacks on Gaza since October 7. More than 1,400 people have been killed so far in Israel. Also, former Guinean dictator Musa Dadis Camara was on Saturday taken from prison by a heavily armed commando during an operation that sparked heavy gunfire in the capital, Conakry, a minister and lawyers say. At least two other former officials currently on trial alongside Dadis Camara over a 2009 massacre during his presidency were also taken from the central prison, they said. Justice Minister Alphonse Charles Wright said that at around 0500 GMT, heavily armed men burst into the prison and managed to leave with 4 prisoners, notably Captain Musa Dadis Camara, saying that the border had been closed. It was unclear whether Dadis Camara had escaped of his own free will. However, the army described the operation as an attempt to sabotage government reforms and swore its unwavering commitment to the current authorities. A judicial source speaking on condition of anonymity said the masked and heavily armed soldiers who arrived at the prison declared they had come to free Captain Dadis Camara. Inside, the group headed towards the former leader's cell, appearing to already know its location, the source said. The Justice Minister also said that Colonel Musa Tegboro Camara, another of the men taken from the prison, had since been recaptured. And in sports, Jessica Pegula romped past U.S. Open champion and doubles partner Coco Gauff to secure her place in the final of this season's ending WTA Finals in Mexico. Pegula won 6-2, 6-1 in 1 hour against her fellow American in wet and windy conditions in Cancun. The other semi-final between Iggy Swiatek and Aryna Sabalenka was postponed until Sunday because of rain. Swiatek led 2-1 when the match was called off, with the final rescheduled to take place on Monday. Poland's Swiatek could usurp Sabalenka at the top of the women's rankings if she beats the Belarusian and goes on to win the event. Sabalenka is set to retain her world #1 ranking if she reaches the final world number 5. World number 5, Pegula 29 took 6 of her 10 breakpoints chances and lost severely when with just one against 19-year-old Gauff, who is third in the women's rankings. Also, Brazil's Jilton Almeida claimed a unanimous point win over Derek Lewis in their heavyweight UFC bout in Sao Paulo. Almeida, taken to 5 rounds for the first time, was adjudged a 50-44 winner by 2 judges and 50-45 by another. Almeida landed 120 strikes to American Lewis 28 at the Ibirapuera Arena. Brazilian Gabriel Bonfim suffered his first defeat in 16 MMA fights when he was stopped in the second round by Denmark's Nicolas Dalby. Still in sports, Joe Cordinha successfully defended his IBF super featherweight title with a hard-fought majority decision victory against Edward Vasquez in Monte Carlo. Welshman Cordinha, 31, was making the first defense of his world title. Despite being a big underdog, American Vasquez proved a worthy challenger as he forced Cordinha into one of the tougher tests of his professional career, never taking a backward step. The judges scored the contest 114-114, 116-112, 116-112 in Cordinha's favor. Vasquez's corner reacted angrily to the defeat, trading insults with Cordinha's team, and Cordinha admitted he had been far from his best. And still in boxing, WBC silverweight champion Ife Ajagba got his revenge over Joe Goodall in their rematch early on Sunday. The hard-hitting Nigerian heavyweight contender stopped Australia's Goodall in the 4th round of their 10-round main event at Tahoe Blue Event Center in State Line, Nevada. The referee, Tony Weeks, stopped their fight 50 seconds into the 4th round because Goodall had taken too many unanswered punches. Ajagba improved his record to 19-1 and produced his 14th knockout. And with that, we've come to the end of Trust News Hour. Do well to follow us across all our social platforms and catch up on our programs and documentaries on YouTube. My name is Sagir Ibrahim. Thanks for watching. Good night.
From the Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.